Foreword. Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. Once again, we ended up back in the period of the months ending with September, October, November, and December. These months belong to the period that contains a half a year of Achoraim, backside, namely from September to February. Once again, I bring it back in your memory because we already learned it, but each time it fled from man. This is the period. We forget all the things we once learned. This is the time we have to be very conscious about the things we once learned. How was it a year ago? How did we learn from this period? We are standing in the threshold of a dark period. Nighttime falls earlier. The nighttime is longer. There will be more rain, and of course this will influence our mood. Our cells react also. Their openness is gone too, because the sky is clouded, and therefore our cells can't expand. They shrink. From within it's the same. When this period arrives and you aren't conscious about the things that happens to you, you will be sad, even depressed. Experience all the kind of strange things, tragedies, and etc. All the evil will expose itself in this time of the year, from September till February. But this only happens when man isn't conscious. This afternoon I received an email, and the person wrote me, "I have no connection with Judaism, but I feel it is the time of Rosh Hashanah. This is the period of all four natures are standing in front of the Creator." Scary. Don't think only Jews know of Rosh Hashanah. The whole world will stand in front of the Hashem. It isn't necessary to visit a synagogue just as Jews do. The whole world feels this special vibration, although the reaction can be different. Most of the time, their reaction arises from their ignorance. Look, it happened 2 years ago that exactly on the day of Yom Kippur, all the misery of American banks became known. Just that day when it was Yom Kippur was the announcement of the financial crisis. Don't think this is an exception. This is the period that what lies hidden, what is a lie, is now standing in front of Hashem. What is wrong will be revealed and will be judged. What is the meaning of this judgment? Pay attention. It doesn't matter if one is religious or not. Each person experiences this period as heavy stuff. It begins in September and will continue and becomes very heavy during the next half year. He who are learning Kabbalah do understand the shining of the panim, face only. It comes from the correction of the Achoraim, the back. First there is the Achoraim. First there is the light of the Achoraim, the back, and then the light of Gar enters our Kelim. He who builds up consciously or he who builds up continuously and consistently undergoes with joy these months of darkness and will come to the full light. He will experience the months following these 6 months. From Adar, the month of spring, as a relief. Don't think this time isn't needed. Don't wait and do nothing and think when the spring comes. Then it will be nice and warm. We are living today, in the now. This is the time of the Horaim. Therefore we have to act and live patiently, with gratitude and joy during these 6 months. It's part of the annual cycle. It makes a year complete. It's during this period we are building up our strengths so we can go to a higher step. Don't say this is a bad time. This time is part of our personal growth also, and we need this period. If someone asks me, I have no relationship with Judaism or have no part in their traditions, but I feel the time of Rosh Hashanah is there, then my answer is, what do you feel is only the time of Achoraim? And what you feel is only the time of Achoraim. They have given it a name, and we have learned the name, and of course it is the beginning of a new year. Of course, man is standing in front of Hashem. It is a very heavy period. All of this is true, but only considering the point, from the point of view of man. All the special days and holidays are given at man. It is man himself who determines these days. See it this way. It is written in the Torah, for you this is the prescription. It is the beginning of the months. All the months of spring I give to you. This is for you the beginning of the months. But you have to count the months yourself. Who says it's a new moon? Of course, man sees this in the sky. In earlier days, when there was the Sanhedrin, the great meeting, the great assembly, a month started when there was a testimony of two witnesses, and they came from the place where the moon first appeared, and then they came to Jerusalem, and they appointed the time when it happened. This was the beginning of a new month. It was therefore established. Sometimes they celebrated the new moon during the 2 days, and why? Then there was nobody coming from the surrounding of Jerusalem, while there was the great meeting, the great assembly. But it came from another place, and it took a day before the testimony of two witnesses arrived at Jerusalem. Now you know why 2 days. You don't have to celebrate 2 days just as they do. They don't understand. It's only one day, a new moon, and that's the day you have to celebrate. The thing is, here on earth, man influences the special days. It is given to us to announce all the holidays so that each person should know when it took place, and of course, it all comes from above. But at the same time, you have to know that from above doesn't exist Rosh Hashanah. There isn't Yom Kippur. There are no special days above, neither Rosh Hashanah nor Yom Kippur or Pesach. It is only given at man. For he who comes further in Kabbalah, the respect of time disappears. And the aspect of time disappears. The calendar disappears. Me, for instance, I don't know. I don't even look at a calendar. I have no interest. Please don't let there be any misunderstanding. I don't say you have to do the same as I do. Each one of us has his own development. I don't say don't look at the calendar. I always had said to you, look, these are special days. They have a special outcome because there is benevolence from above. And this is still right. I have never said to you, and I will never say to you, follow me, because each one of us has his own development. But for me, the calendar doesn't exist any longer. Of course, I have my agenda containing an appointment with my dentist. What I mean is, I am talking about the spiritual. The spiritual, I don't need it anymore. For me, it has died away. It was died because from above, it doesn't exist. Above, there are no holidays. A man grows, and first he comes to the worlds of separation, the world of Asiyah, Yetzirah, and Bria. When he's in these worlds, he lives in a separation and doesn't receive the strength coming from the world absolute. Due to his needs, all the holidays, and let's be clear here, I'm not speaking about religious people, because this is only a comedy. Yom Kippur, etc., it's one big comedy. I only speak about he who works on himself, just as you are doing now. And of course, you may celebrate. You may think of Rosh Hashanah when it suits you. I'm not aware of your level, but for me, it doesn't exist any longer. It's my wife who says to me today, it is Yom Kippur. And my answer is, that's nice. Or she says, today it is Rosh Hashanah. Oh, nice. For me, it doesn't matter whether it's Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, or Yom Kippur. What exists for me is Panim, the front, the face, or Achoraim, the back. For me, there is only the 10 Sfirot, and not the parties and whatever they give at the people of Israel who maintain the treaty or the covenant of the flesh. Of course, they had to follow the treaty of the flesh or the covenant of the flesh, that only till the coming of the Yeshua. And the Christians have copied of this and do the same. They only gave another meaning to the holidays. They are jealous, and they were jealous, and they too wanted to have their own special holidays. All of this actually is considering the treaty of the flesh or the covenant, while this covenant doesn't exist any longer for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Blessed is He. What is there to know? You only have to know that the 10 Sfirot, the 10 emanations of the light, only this is important. 10 Sfirot, one Partzuf, and one Partzuf consists of 2 parts, under the Chazeh and above the Chazeh. And here is your working area. What is it you have to do? Well, each time you have to bring in conformity the upper and the lower, the part above the Chazeh with the part under the Chazeh, just as Ze'ah and Nukwa. So this is an annual cycle. Above the Chazeh is the period of spring and summer, from March to August. The side of Panim, when man is full of life. That's the period we have to contact because all our cells are going open, just as nature. Followed by Achoraim, autumn and winter, the months of September till February. This is a period we too have to pass with all the joy we have within us, patiently and with courage and strength. And all of this, you have to do it by yourself. Don't let the bad weather be of influence or other things that are now a little bit heavier. It's different. This half year differs from the past 6 months. You can compare this with, for instance, the good and the bad. The 2 periods of a year are similar to the period of good and bad. Autumn and winter, September till March, are similar with the evil, but a good evil, a gvurot. And when it is spring and summer, March until August, and the similar to chasadim. Now are stepping in the time of gvurot, and this we need to understand. Because of the gvurot, you can build up your strength, your partzuf. Both are necessarily for your spiritual fulfillment and development. There comes a moment where you will know it is part of your growth, part of your true happiness, part of your development, and part of your true self. I then look with joy and great pleasure out of your window and feel what is happening around the months of darkness. Whatever you do, do it with joy and happiness. You will do it with joy and happiness. Be well.